Hey everybody, it's attorney Veronica McClendon, and today we're going to be talking about a topic that I think all of you are going to be interested in. And that topic is money. We're going to talk about how can you make money with your family's heirs property. So I know that many of you probably see heirs property as something that's more of a liability, more of a burden than a blessing, than an asset. And I am here to turn that on its head. I want you all to start seeing your family's heirs property as an asset, just like you would see a rental property that you purchase, or if you have other assets that you've purchased, stock assets, bonds, investment accounts, whatever it is that you have. I want you to see your family's heirs property as yet another opportunity to make an investment. See it as a business opportunity. And so what I'm going to talk to you today are some things that you can do to help your family to make money with your heirs property. Some of the things I'm going to talk about are going to need to have clear title. So it's something that you can start thinking about in the future. But some of them you can go ahead and get started on now. And if it's something that you are going to have clear title for, and you're going to have to work through your family's heirs property in order to take advantage of the opportunity, if there's something like that that's on your list of things that are interesting to you, it gives you something to work toward. It helps you to have a focus point. It also can help you in terms of knowing the steps you need to take to clear title to your family's heirs property, because some ways of generating income are going to require more strict clear title rules. They're going to require that you follow more strict rules in terms of what does it mean to have clear title, and we'll talk about that in another episode. But in terms of how you clear your title to your property, some programs are going to have stricter requirements than others. And so there might be some that you want to make sure that you are following the protocol that they have in mind to obtain clear title when you are working toward that. So at least if you don't qualify now, it's something that you know what you need to do to qualify later. So we're going to talk about how to make money with heirs property. Before we get into some of the ideas, I do want to say that it's going to depend on the type of property that you are working with. If you have a residential property that has a small lot, but a house is on the property, if it's in good repair, then that's going to be different opportunities versus having hundreds of acres of land that are suitable for agricultural purposes. So it really is going to depend on what kind of property you have. Is the property a vacant lot in a city, or does it have a structure on it? Is it a property in the rural community? And also thinking about what are the local rules. There's planning and zoning requirements that might limit what you can do with your land, or let me not say limit, but it might provide some additional requirements for how you use your land. Or there might be environmental concerns. For example, if your property is close to wetlands, that might impact the way that you can use the land. So you really have to understand what kind of property you own, what the characteristics are, and what kinds of uses would be most suitable for that type of property. So that's the first thing I want you to keep in mind as we go into this conversation. The second thing that I want you to keep in mind is that you need to be thinking about what expenses are you going to have to cover in order to maintain this property and make it worth your while. So there might be different ways that you can generate money with your property. Don't choose the one that's not going to help you to pay your bills. It might be fun, it might seem cool and interesting, but if it's going to cost you a lot of money, a lot of investment of your time and resources that you don't have, you don't want to tie things up in that way of making money. So you might need to find another way to make money that's going to help you to pay your monthly expenses, to pay the taxes on the property, to pay insurance, pay maintenance costs, or even costs to repair the property and get it in good condition so that you can use it the way that you want to use it. So that's the other thing that I want to make sure that you are thinking about as you are thinking about ways to make money for your property. So now that we got through those preliminary things, I want to go through a list of ways that you can make money with your property. So if you are, let's start with someone that lives in, or their property is in an urban community or a suburban community. You might have a smaller lot. If there's a structure on there, by all means, you can consider the option of renting it out to a family or an individual who is looking for a long-term home. So that, of course, is going to be one option that you can rent out that property to someone, just like a normal landlord-tenant situation. Or you might have a situation where you want to do short-term rentals. And so in that case, you might look at something like, excuse me, like Airbnb or Verbo for opportunities to offer short-term rentals, or depending on how the rules are for participating in those programs, you might need to have your own short-term rental company put in place so that you can rent out your family's heirs property, because it might be the case that these larger companies might require that you have clear title. But if you are an individual, if you're a family that is wanting to rent out your heirs property, you might not qualify for their programs, but perhaps you can come up with a different arrangement where you are providing these short-term rentals. Now, there's going to be things like insurance that you're going to have covered. You're going to have certain things in place. Those things may require clear title. They may not require clear title. One thing about heirs property is that everybody who is an owner of the property has the right to use the property the way that they want to. If they want to make income with the property, they can do that. If they want to access the property, they can do that. And they don't have to really get permission from the other family members. And I know that's controversial. I know nobody wants to think about that, but they don't have to get permission from their other family members in order to use the heirs property, because they're a part owner. So in that situation where there is heirs property, you don't have to get everybody's permission, but I think it's a good practice to do that. So everybody working together to make this happen, you might come up with some kind of family agreement to say, hey, we're going to have so-and-so be responsible for leasing out the property, but we know that they're going to use the money to benefit all of us. So you might create a special bank account. Well, let me not say you might. If you are going to be collecting income for your family's heirs property, create a separate bank account that's separate from anybody's personal accounts. Put multiple people on there and have some rules in place for checks and balances so that no one person can come and take money when they want to without getting permission from the other family members. So you want to have a structure in place for how that bank account is going to be used, who has access to it, how they can use the money. But I would encourage you to have a separate bank account and pull that money in that you're making from your heirs property and use it just like a business would use it. Don't just use it as your personal piggy bank. Collect the money on behalf of the family. If there is someone who is getting more of a financial benefit from the property than the others, keep track of that so that it can all be settled later, and make sure everything is done in full transparency. I just told y'all something that you really need to have a professional, like an attorney or some kind of a financial professional in your corner if you're going to take that approach. But that is something that you can do. Have a family bank account that you are renting out this property in short-term rentals or long-term rentals to people who want to stay in your property. And do it just like you would if you were a landlord or a property management company. Have some rules in place for how you're going to manage those properties and keep them maintained. So that was a long way to say what you can do with your property if it's in a residential area, suburban or urban context. You might even look at if it's a vacant lot, you might do something where you have let people come and rent out plots so that they can have small garden plots and grow their own food, or you might rent it out for recreational uses. Y'all know families are always looking for a place to have a cookout. You can have it, especially if you have restroom facilities. You can rent out your property. If you don't have a house that has a nice, like, okay, this is an idea that came on the spot. You got your house there. You don't want to do short-term rentals, long-term rentals for people living there, but you might have it as a family reunion spot where people can come. They have access to the kitchen. They can have their event there. They can put up a tent and play the music, do all the stuff. Just make sure they know the rules of your community. But they can use it for events. You can have it for events, birthday parties, just whatever. Y'all know what folks like to do. But have the family cookout there. You can have that available for people to do reunions and things like that. But if you don't have a structure, you can bring in luxury porta potties. They have those these days, and just have the facilities there for people. They set up the grill. They set up a tent. They have the luxury bathrooms, and then just let them go. That's another way that you can make money with your family property. I'm gonna have to do my lawyer thing because I'm getting all these ideas, but I do want y'all to know this is not legal advice. One, so you need to talk to your own lawyer before you pursue any of these. Two, don't tell people, well, Veronica told me I could do this, and so I thought it was legal. You need to check your own local rules, zoning requirements, make sure you got the permits and all that stuff. This is not what this video is about. I'm just giving y'all some ideas to make money with your family property. So with that being said, we covered the urban, suburban context. Y'all might have other ideas. Please put those in the comments. Let's share. Let's give information to others out there. Let's go to the rural context. And I always have struggle saying rural. And I, of course, would be a rural attorney, and I have struggle saying that word. I'm saying RURAL. If somebody, I struggle with that word. We just gonna leave it there. But let's take it to the rural context. No judgment, y'all. Come on, don't judge me how I say it. So there are many things you can do with your family property in a rural context where you have large acreage. I'm getting my phone because my little thing went out. You have larger acreage and you are trying to figure out what to do with that land. So a lot of times people think we can farm it. We can lease this land to a farmer. That's a great thing to do. If you want a hands-off approach, you want somebody else to manage the land for you, you can lease it to a farmer and let them do what they want to do with it. You want to make sure you have a solid lease in place. You need to make sure that they are required to have insurance. Make sure that they are following, that they know that they have to follow local, state, government rules, federal rules, and using your property. So this is not like a little lease that you just pull off the internet. I recommend that you do get an attorney who knows what they're doing to draft a lease for you for your farm, to lease out your family land as to a farmer. And if you need help with that, our firm can help you with that. But you can lease it out to a farmer. Have them pay you whatever the fair market rental rate is for your property. I don't care if they've been leasing from your family for 50 years. You need to check what the current rules are, the current rates are, the going rates, and require that they pay you that going rate. And if they don't want to, I am sure there's another farmer who would be happy to lease from you. And so I'm saying this from experience. I have a lot of clients who say, well, they've been farming our land for 50 years. We don't want to rock the boat. It's like, rock that boat and tell them that they need to pay you so that you're not missing out, because you got taxes to pay. You got bills to pay. You got to clear up heirs property. You got to pay your lawyers. Excuse me, y'all. You got to pay your lawyer so that you can, I got all excited and stuff, knock my microphone down, but you got to pay your lawyer so that you can get clear title to your heirs property. You can't be playing no games talking about I don't want to rock the boat. You better charge them what that land is worth so that they can lease from you and you can make the money that you need to make. You also can lease to a hunting club. If you have timber on your property, hunting clubs are really excited to find new places to hunt. It's a big deal. I heard someone threaten their wife that if they didn't keep their family land, that they were going to divorce her because they wanted to be able to hunt on that land. So just knowing that, I mean, it's serious. I ain't messing with no hunters. They got guns. They got a lot of guns. They got big guns. I am not messing with them. So y'all just work that out. Make sure you're getting paid what you're supposed to get paid. Make sure you have a good lease in place. Make sure that they are required to get insurance and that it's clear that if one of them shoots somebody on your property, that liability is going to be on them. So make sure that you have everything airtight. We don't want people with guns on our property and we don't have solid agreements. So you can lease your land to a hunting club or to a hunter. It's big business. I don't know how big or how much money, but I do know it's serious business and that you can make some money leasing your family's timberland to a hunting club. You might consider installing a solar farm on your property. This is something that's a long-term commitment. It's going to be a 30-year type thing, and you probably will have to have clear title for this, but it's something that you can put in your family business plan to think through what you would want to do in the future, what is going to require to be eligible for something like this. I will say that there are a lot of concerns with solar farms. I am not the expert on that, but what I've heard is that they can emit chemicals or things into the air that might not be desirable. They can be hard to, like, when the company's done, they might leave equipment, things like that. These are 30-year contracts. Solar energy is relatively new, so we don't have a whole lot of industry, experience on this. It's 30 years ago, everybody wasn't leasing out their land for solar farms. So I'm just saying, I'm not saying this to put fear in there. I'm not saying this to say anything bad about any company, but y'all need to make sure that you really do your research on it. I'm just telling you that it's a potential way to make a lot of money with your land. And so you might want to look into it as an option if you're just looking for a way to generate income. There was a thought I had when I was saying all that, and I can't even remember what that thought was. I can't remember. So we'll just move to the next one. You can look at using your property as an Airbnb, Verbo, vacation spot. Even if you are in a rural context, there are people who are wanting to have a quiet place to be and enjoy time with their family, not be in the hustle and bustle of a big city, not be in the weird, awkward situation of like staying in a house in the middle of a suburb where you got neighbors who are like, oh, there goes those Airbnb folks or those Verbo folks or those other short-term rental folks. Y'all hate name dropping because you just make mistakes. So anybody offended by my name dropping, please just know I'm just trying to give some examples, y'all know. But it could be a nice way for people to get away and enjoy the country life for a little bit. People like that these days. I imagine writers would want a place to go have a writer's retreat. Like, please give me a nice house in the country with the woods over there on the side and then a little lake that I could walk to, have it nicely decorated and a place where I can make my coffee and sit down by the bay windows and enjoy the warm southern sun as I write my in-depth I don't know what I'm writing, but I'm just saying, give that to me. I want it. I will pay you for it. So I know that there are other people who will pay you to rent out your farmhouse and use it to do whatever they need to do. They may be writing a book. They may be finishing up a PhD thesis. They may just be, I don't know, making a movie. People doing all kinds of stuff. So whatever it is, that might be something that you consider leasing out your property for Airbnb. Let me not say that. Just a place where people can go for a writer's retreat or some kind of retreat. Even churches and small groups, they want to go and have retreats. You might have a bigger place where people can come in and stay with a group and have people come and do whatever they do as they're retreating. It could be a place where people go stay down the street at a local hotel, but then they come during the sessions at your property. Like, I'm just giving y'all some ideas. Weddings, other events, have them on your property. People love being on farms for their weddings. And you can leave the old farm equipment out there. People like standing next to a rusty plow and stuff. They like doing that. So keep it on there. Just make it look a little nice. Cut the grass and stuff. So that's another idea. Keep the old barn. You don't have to fix up the old barn. Just have it in the background. People like that stuff in the background. Well, I don't know. Don't some you might have to fix up the barn. You might have to paint it red or something. But I'm just saying. Keep that in there. You can grow and manage timber. That's one of my favorite. I really like the idea of planting timber on property and using that forest land for various purposes. So it might be that you are like hands off and you just want to put the trees up and you do whatever kind of management stuff that your local people advise you to do. Or you might be more hands-on and you want to allow farmers to come and graze their cattle and their goats in your forest land. Y'all know, if you know me, you know I'm not a country girl, so there's certain things that I just don't know. But you can go and graze your animals under there, and it's nice and shaded, and then they keep the undergrowth cut low, so that's an option as well. People like to grow mushrooms. You can grow like truffles, underneath. I don't know how this all works, but you can talk to somebody who knows. I'm just giving y'all ideas, but I heard people growing truffles, and I heard truffles are really just high demand and people pay a lot of money for them. So you can do that. Trying to think, just growing and managing your timber. You can have somebody come through and get the hay every year, sell the hay so that you can make money on that. Like, I need y'all to be looking at opportunities to make money with y'all's family land. Let's stop playing games out here talking about, oh, it's a burden. I wish they hadn't left this to us. There are ways we could be making some good money with these family properties. And so that is why I took out this time today to talk with y'all about ways that you can make money with your family's heirs property. So if y'all have any questions, put them in the comments, send me a message. Like, I would love to continue this conversation. If you have any ideas for ways that people can make money with their family land, like they can lease it out to movie companies and the movie companies can come and do movies there. I don't know. Oh, there's one I forgot about. You can consider long-term leasing your land to corporations. They will pay good money to sit on your property for 99 years and have a lease there and pay you money every year to use it. If you're someone who is looking for a long-term strategy to manage your family property, but you know that you are not going to be visiting it and going there and doing stuff on it, you can lease it out to corporations that are looking for a place to put their facility. And I'm not talking about just like, I'm saying like stores, big box stores. They might say, well, we want to lease your land out for 99 years and pay you a lot of money every year to do that. That's something that you can consider. Another thing that came to mind, I forgot about, is conservation easements. You might consider having a conservation easement, selling a conservation easement to a company or to the government some way. There are ways you can do that for either money or tax benefits. I think most of y'all probably interested in the money aspect because the tax benefits, they can be good, but you got to have a whole lot of tax liability for it to really make sense for you. But I do think, yeah, people actually will sell their tax credits to people with a lot of money. I don't know how that works, but that's an option as well. But I'm telling you, those conservation easements, I have been shocked to see how much money can be made from those. Where, like, I'm talking to people and they're just like, oh, we don't care how much it costs to get this done. We just want this conservation easement. I'm like, why do you want this so bad? And some people care about the environment, but some people have found ways to make a lot of money and they're willing to share a little of that profit with you if you allow them to put this conservation easement on your property. Selling carbon credits. Y'all, I said I was trying to wrap up and then these ideas are coming. Selling carbon credits. That's another way you can make money with your property. There are for-profit and nonprofit groups out there that are helping families to sell the carbon credits for their forest land to some corporation across the country who needs to offset their carbon emissions by buying carbon credits. And then they're buying it from you, the landowner. So that is another option. Usually they're going to require clear title for that, but there are also programs out there that help you to pay the money, pay the legal fees to clear the title to your property so that you can qualify for the carbon credit program. So there are ways to get this job done. Y'all just got to get out there, do some research. If I could be a resource, reach out to me. I'm really passionate about helping families to find ways to make good money with their family land, to make it a source of wealth and income for future generations. Like, we're not out here playing and letting land be a liability anymore. We want to convert it to an asset. So if I can help you, I am attorney Veronica McClendon, located in Macon, Georgia. My firm is in Macon, Georgia, but we serve the entire state of Georgia. We help families with heirs property, estate planning, and probate currently. We might do other stuff in the future. We also help farmers with their business needs. So if you are a farmer, we want to be the go-to place for you in the state of Georgia to help you with your legal needs, whether that's estate planning, whether it's contract review, contract drafting. I'm just guiding you through making business decisions and negotiating things with your business colleagues. Whatever we can do to help you, we are here for that as well. I'm going to go ahead and sign off now. It's the day before Thanksgiving. So if you are going to be eating a good meal, I hope you don't eat too much. But I hope you enjoy that meal. And just want to wish all of you a happy Thanksgiving and take care. Thank you so much for tuning in.